In 2018, Clint Barton is at home under house arrest, teaching his daughter Lila archery while his wife Laura and their sons prepare a picnic.
Nice throw.
Suddenly, Lila vanishes into ash, leaving Clint alone and frantic. 3 weeks after Thanos decimated half of the universe's population with a snap of his fingers, Tony Stark and Nebula are stranded in space on the Benatar, running out of fuel and supplies. Stark, injured and starving, records a farewell message for his fiancée, Pepper Potts. Before he perishes, Sandberg rescues them and brings them back to Earth.
I think it's
Stark reunites with Potts and the remaining
I believe
Avengers,
I remember telling
Steve Rogers, Natasha
Tony.
Romanoff, Bruce Banner, and James Rhodes. Rocket Raccoon joins Nebula in mourning the fallen Guardians of the Galaxy. Stark accuses Rogers of causing their disbandment and failing to prevent Thanos. Stark collapses from exhaustion. With a tip from Nebula about Thanos' location, the team heads to the garden to retrieve the Infinity Stones and reverse the destruction. They find Thanos alone and scarred. They ambush him, cut off his arm with the Infinity Gauntlet, but find it empty. Thanos reveals he destroyed the stones to prevent their misuse. Thor beheads Thanos in frustration, but they are unable to reverse the snap. 5 years later, society struggles to cope with the losses. Rogers leads a support group. Stark and Potts live in a remote cabin with their daughter Morgan. In San Francisco, Scott Lang escapes the quantum realm and finds a disheveled city. He reunites with his now teenage daughter Cassie. At the Avengers compound, Romanoff leads the team while Rhodes informs her of Barton's violent vigilante activities. Lang proposes using the quantum realm to travel back in time and retrieve the stones. They seek Stark's help, but he initially refuses, fearing for Morgan's existence. Stark changes his mind after seeing a photo of Peter Parker and successfully develops a time-space GPS. He reconciles with Rogers and agrees to help. The Avengers regroup, Banner, now combining his intellect with Hulk's strength, and Rocket recruit an overweight and depressed Thor from New Asgard. Romanoff finds Barton in Tokyo, who has been on a vengeful crusade. They test the time machine, and Barton successfully retrieves an item from the past, confirming their plan works. The Avengers plan their time heist. The Space, Mind, and Time Stones are in 2012 New York, the Reality Stone in 2013 Asgard, and the Power and Soul Stones in 2014 Morag and Vormir. They split into teams. Rogers, Stark, Banner, and Lang arrive in 2012 New York. Banner convinces the Ancient One to give him the Time Stone. Stark and Lang fail to retrieve the Tesseract, but Rogers secures the scepter. With limited Pym particles, Stark and Rogers travel to 1970 to get the Tesseract and more particles. Stark meets his father, Howard, and gains closure. Rogers sees Peggy Carter but leaves without revealing himself. In 2013, Asgard, Thor, and Rocket extract the ether from Jane Foster. Thor gets closure from his mother, Frigga, and retrieves Mjolnir. In 2014, Barton and Romanoff go to Vormir, while Nebula and Rhodes retrieve the orb on Morag. Thanos of 2014 learns of their plan through Nebula's linked memories. He captures present Nebula and sends past Nebula to infiltrate the Avengers. On Vormir, Barton and Romanoff struggle over who will sacrifice themselves. Romanoff ultimately sacrifices herself, allowing Barton to retrieve the Soul Stone. The Avengers return to the present and build a new gauntlet. Banner, the only one strong enough to survive, uses it to snap and resurrect everyone Thanos killed. Past Nebula brings Thanos and his army to the present. Thanos attacks the Avengers compound. Barton flees with the gauntlet, passing it to Black Panther, who is later intercepted by Thanos. Wanda Maximoff nearly defeats Thanos, but he calls for a missile barrage. Captain Marvel destroys Thanos' ship. The Avengers and their allies, resurrected by the snap, join the battle. In the final fight, Thanos overpowers the Avengers and gets the gauntlet. Stark steals the stones and uses them to destroy Thanos and his army, sacrificing himself in the process. The world celebrates the victory. At Stark's funeral, His friends and family mourn. Thor appoints Valkyrie as new Asgard's ruler and joins the Guardians of the Galaxy. Rogers returns the stones and Mjolnir to their respective times and chooses to stay in the past, living a full life with Peggy Carter. He passes his shield to Sam Wilson, naming him the new Captain America.